So hello everybody, looks like we've approached 1984. Let's see how this goes, yeah? So, news in Europe, in Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein became the last country in Europe to grant women the vote. Took them a while, but they got there. Beverly Burns became the first woman to captain a Boeing 747. The Apple Macintosh was launched that year. You know, the computer. Svetlana Savitskaya became the first woman to do a spacewalk. She was part of the Salyut 7 mission. And speaking of space, Catherine Sullivan became the first American woman to do a spacewalk that year too. A few months later, but they got there. That was on the first flight of the Space Shuttle Challenger. Mark Garneau became the first Canadian in space on that same shuttle mission. Upper Volta, the country in Africa, changed its name to Burkina Faso. Amongst those who died that year were Marvin Gaye. He was rather tragically shot by his father. Diana Dawes, Count Basie, and one of Britain's favourite comedians, Tommy Cooper. And I do remember seeing that happen. I didn't actually see him die, but you know, he died a few hours afterwards. He was on stage, the Royal Variety Show. This was on ITV. It's one of those shows which, you know, almost anybody who had a TV would be watching back in those days, because, you know, you got 4 channels and that was it. And he was doing this trick. I don't know what the trick is called, but it's a comedy trick. And he put on this, well, during his performance, something happened which I've never seen him do before. He sort of like put his hand to his chest and steady himself on, I think, the chair or something that was there or something. And he said, I'll be fine. And for the first time I've seen him, I thought, that's not right. You know, he doesn't look right. Something's not right. Because he wasn't actually being funny. He looked like he was having problems. And then he put on this big cape, a funny turban type hat, and he was going to do this trick where he pulls things out of his cape, you know, like, you know, big things like, you know, 10-foot ladders, that sort of thing. And so he put it on and stands with his back against the curtain, because there's a great big curtain behind it. And then he just fell down, passed out, you know, and nobody knew what to do. And then a couple of seconds later, somebody put the curtain over him, and the music played, and he went to a commercial break. And then the show continued. And after the show was over, the news headlines was Tommy Cooper was rushed to hospital after a massive heart attack, and he died either on the way there or actually in hospital. He was announced dead there. So yeah, so one of Britain's funniest comedians, and even seeing the stuff he does now, because he did magic, but with a funny turn, and you know, only Paul Daniels could come close to him for the humour in his magic. But so yeah, I was quite surprised that the Americans never found him funny. Yeah, I guess that's Americans for you, yeah. On the bright side, amongst those born that year were Scarlett Johansson, Maria Serafovic, who some of you, probably a tiny number of you, may recognise as the winner of the Eurovision Song Contest in 2007. Kelly Osbourne was born that year. Katy Perry, the one who kissed a girl and apparently liked it. Avril Lavigne. Prince Harry is born that year. America Ferrera was born that year. And Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, I'm probably going to stop my Facebook anytime after this is over. I'm thinking of cancelling my Facebook altogether. If you don't want me to, let me know why. I'm going to leave it there now with my thoughts of 1984. I could talk about how that year there was a plethora of movies and TV shows about and of the book 1984. Because, you know, what else would you do in a year called 1984? And they're all interesting. And the saddest thing about that book, which I've never read but I hear is quite good, I've seen the movie so I know what it's about, is that a lot of the things that happened as the works of fiction are beginning to seep into our daily life today, and it's getting a bit disturbing to me, I must confess. So anyway, hopefully it's just a blip in the radar, and you know, society will calm down the next few years and things will get back to normal. At least I hope so. Within my lifetime, at least. Anyway, take care, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, and one more thing. Paul and Linda McCartney were arrested in Barbados for cannabis possession. Now, Paul, we've talked about this before, you know, if you're going to be doing recreational substances, go somewhere where it's fairly legal, you know. I hear Holland is good.